There are three rules. Don't talk to it, don't look at it, don't touch it. Why would I talk to a bag? Why does anyone do anything? Just follow the rules. Bag of Lies is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It was directed by David James in his feature credit and written by David Andrew James, Nick Laughlin, and Joe Zappa. Not related to Frank Zappa, and if anybody gets that reference, I love you guys. And this stars Patrick Taft as Matt. And Matt has his wife Claire, Brandy Botkin, who is dealing with a terminal illness. She is not doing well. She's decided, I'm just going to accept my fate. And even though, for better or worse, till death do us part, I just can't take this tearing me apart, I swear. That was a reference I didn't expect to make at any point. And if anybody knows what song that references, oh boy, you guys are goddamn as old as me. Over and older than the hills, as it were. So yes, let's get back to Bag of Lies. Basically, Matt is bound and determined to save his sick wife because they have so many more years to grow together. So he calls upon a man named Al, and he could be his bagman, and he'll be his long-lost pal, and there's a bag that will create a bag of lies, Okay, enough song references. Basically, Al has something that will help him, but there is a price to pay, and when it comes to wanting to save the person that you love, whether it's a close relative, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother too, a significant other, or maybe just somebody that was really there for you and you want to make sure they're okay. Would you do everything you could no matter the cost? That's the question that is overriding Matt and basically causes him to have numerous nightmares because he is stressed. Now, obviously, his wife, Claire, is much more stressed because she's dealing with the illness, and obviously that's the toughest part. And then sometimes it just, in the periphery, you have so many people that are affected because nobody wants to see their loved one pass away. So that particular idea, as far as horror, that's the most horrifying part of this movie, Bag of Lies, because nobody would want to see somebody they love rot away. So there's a bag that gets entered, and basically the idea is there are rules. You have to do a particular ritual, and then you have to follow those rules. Don't talk to it, don't look at it, don't touch it. And after 3 days, things should get better. Of course, obviously, there is a cost. There's going to be some issues. And from there, we have a horror movie that has a decent concept. And I will credit the cast and crew for trying their best. And I will take this over Baghead. I will say that. Even though Baghead was professionally shot and had a decent budget behind it, this has a lower budget. This, at least, I think, utilized its concept a little bit better, even with the lower budget. But that being said, this movie still was aggressively boring to me, and that's not a fault of the cast, that's not a fault of the, crew. It just didn't click. It started out all right. There are a few neat little ideas sprinkled in, and I appreciate the effort, put into it. And the cast tries their best. But, yeah, it was what it was, basically. The movie just didn't really amount to much of anything beyond your typical things that go bump in the night. What is the price that you would pay to save your loved ones, all that, and yeah, it kind of just meanders, and also basically just goes right to the goddamn wire before it concludes. Like, seriously, I think the end credits are like 2 goddamn minutes, and it's also way longer than it needs to be. I think 80 minutes probably would have been better because this movie's stretching some scenes to the point where they're almost about to break or pull apart like, freshly warmed taffy. But that being said, Bag of Lies, currently streaming on Amazon Prime. Check it out. Let me know what you guys thought. I'm going to get into spoilers, but again, I do appreciate the effort from the cast and crew, even if the movie was just kind of mundane and really bored me. That being said, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So, yeah, basically Matt is taking care of his wife. There's a lot of DVDs on the shelving that they have in their house. I did note that. So, cancer is a bitch. Let me just say that. She stopped chemo because she was getting sick from the chemo. I thankfully have never gone through that. I know people that have, and they say some handle it really well. Some, your body may not reject it, but your body's trying to basically just, puke the sickness out and everything. Then we see scenes at a bar. Matt meets the guy Terry Tacantis. And or Tacantins, that is, I apologize for mispronouncing. He says, yeah, you got to follow these rules. Brings the bag in. Claire makes some weird music. That's basically something she wants to do. And Harold, who is Matt's cousin, they're working on some stuff. There's also a lady named Gwen, Aja Nicole, that I think does fine in her role. She really isn't given all that much to do. Harold is played by John Wells. Not related to George Wells, because not only would the age not match up, but neither would the race. Now, if somebody gets the George Wells reference, love you guys. So, basically, tries to avoid doing anything like talking, looking, and, touching the bag. But he loses his lighter underneath the door right after the ritual, right after Gwen gets a blood sample, is going to take it back and do some tests and everything. Instead, he steals the blood vial and takes it and puts it in the bag and everything. So I guess this is supposed to be like a way to do this ritual. And then from there, we basically just get a lot of nightmares. He sees this girl named Peggy, played by Madison Poland, who I think does fine in her role. Kind of reminds me of Alicia Witt from Urban Legend, to be perfectly honest. Alicia Witt, and then there's somebody else. The girl from Cry Wolf, whose name escapes me right now, but that's who she reminds me of. So, yeah, the character arcs go a little bit weird. People get into arguments, like, randomly, and yes, it would be stressful to see this kind of stuff happen to your loved ones, but there are times where I think some scenes are like, okay, well, that came out of nowhere. And Harold is a bit of a player. That's an overriding theme where he really can't keep a woman. He does talk about his first wife who lost somebody, or lost her son, and was starting to see her son, going all crazy. There is a character, Lily, who I do have to say the actress does the best that she can. And I did forget to write her name down. I do apologize. Check out IMDb and let's support, actors that are doing their best to get, to have a big career. I thought she did fine. in a few scenes that she had. And yeah, we get, nightmares. We see the girl named Peggy. Peggy ties into this whole goddamn thing. Claire suddenly is fine. Like a little bit later after this ritual. It's supposed to take place over 3 days, and it seems like about a week passes, but nevertheless, Claire is fine, except she's not, because she has long hair and all this. Well, she put makeup on and hair extensions in, but she's actually really, really sick. Then she ends up seeing the bag, and the bag makes her sick, and all this stuff goes on. She stopped chemo because she was tired of it making her ill. Then she sees the bag, all this stuff's going on. We have Matt that's trying to get a hold of Al, but he ends up having to talk to Lily, who again I do want to praise the actress. He finds his address, talks to Peggy. Peggy's his daughter. It turns out that the bag basically will kind of create a livelier version of the person you're going to lose, but unfortunately they're a little bit absolutely motherfucking demonic and flesh-eating and all that. It's like creating a living dead girl. And now that song's stuck in your head, and you're welcome. That's pretty much it right there. The bag basically creates and it takes away. It doesn't create everything that you want, but it creates everything you need. But there is a price that you must heed. And he basically tells Matt when it's time, put her inside it. So he gets home. Claire's dead. Gwen has been trying to call him this whole time. Harold is there. Harold ends up freaking out because he's like, why are you putting her in this bag? He puts Claire in the bag. Claire gets revived. Claire now it's like a Tales from the Crypt episode at this point. Kind of like that one with the love potion where the guy ends his life and then the woman does the same and she's all mangled and everything at the end is kind of what that reminds me of. That is a deep Does anybody remember Tales from the Crypt on this show? Or, just watching this video. So, yeah, basically Harold ends up getting killed. Gwen arrives. Gwen is then dragged away because, this new Claire must feast. And there's also this overriding thing where they would gradually insult each other in a loving way, like jerk, all this stuff and everything. And they would drink and they would have fun and they would share memories. And now Matt is the bagman. He's the bagman, and talking to Lily, who had been talking about the fact that her mother had dementia. Would you do anything to save her? And now he's going to spread the bag around because why not? Again, there are worse movies out there, and no, this is not an egregious F as far as like F. I just wanted to just slap it on there and everything. It's not like a half-star movie, like a star and a half, but it still gets an F because the movie bored me. There are ideas that could have worked. The cast did their best. I'm not saying don't watch it, but this wasn't really something that clicked with me. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.